Hi, so today I'm going to be doing the next set of 5-minute head drawings. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on The Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So, yeah, I'm going to continue doing the 5-minute head drawings, but this is after I've taken a week of, of just drawing heads. A little bit longer doing more head studies, but for a completely different reason. I was just doing some painting experiments, but definitely one of the things that I discovered was that I need to work on my head drawings more. It was they were very inconsistent when I was drawing the heads. So I knew that I really needed to study this. And also, I spoke about the big stack of photos. Well, here's the big stack of photos. Here's how much I paid for paid for said photos. A friend of mine was the one that took the photos and developed them, and then he and so all of these photos are figure drawings. But I'm going to share with you what some of these look like. So these are all done traditionally on newsprint and charcoal. So what I did was I looked at these heads, and some of these are definitely longer poses. But I was trying to look at the ones that looked like they were shorter studies. But they inform me of what I kind of need my figure drawings to look like when I'm doing faster drawings. So these first ones are definitely a little bit shorter in length. You can tell because they're not very finished. This is a little bit more finished. So as I go, the drawings get a little bit more finished. So I'm guessing these are 20-minute, 30-minute poses. But so you can see some of them are studies off of other paintings. Definitely not as finished. Some of them are definitely not as finished. Here's some eyeballs. It's a close up of this. Okay, so these are kind of like the direction I want to head. I have these, and I'll have these next to me or in front of me or nearby. Just take a look at these. Like I said, ideally what I want to do is something a little bit more like this. This is about as much as you can get done in about 5 minutes. But these are really nice. So if I could capture something in that kind of vein, I will put this here as inspiration. I will also put this one here near me so I could take a look at it as inspiration, and this too, because this is definitely short. So I'll put those there. I'll put these aside. All right. And I'm going to get started doing some head studies. They're, again, 5 minutes. There's not going to be a lot done, but the preliminary shapes, the preliminary idea, the gist of the head is the important thing to capture here. You don't need a lot of detail, but just putting in the basic shapes and structure clearly is the goal here, so that I could just get better at seeing the preliminary ideas of a head. Okay, so all right, let's get started. All right, so 5 minutes. I'm going to turn on my timer. And here we go. Alright, so rough pencil. I'm going to switch this here. I'm already losing time because of technical things. So very quickly, shape of the head, shape of the hair, neck, shape of the clothes. I don't even know if I need that. Direction of the head, slightly 3/4. Shape of the hair. Come in here and place the general bottom of the nose, brow, eyes are going to be about here, mouth, bottom of the mouth, chin. I've got these. Here's the keystone of the top of the nose, bottom of the nose. I'm imagining this shape here. And now I'm going to switch pens to my colored pencil. And I'm going to do some very quick value shapes here. So part of the reason why this doesn't seem right is because of the lack of hard edges. And that is a problem, having to switch back and forth digitally. If I was doing this traditionally, it would be a matter of a flick of a wrist. So I'm trying to get these shapes down. This is the... So I'm trying to decide how to do this best. Like I said, I'd be able to do this with a flick of a wrist if I was doing this traditionally. So I'm not quite getting the results I want the way I want, even right away. So I'll just deal, and I'll put the shadows in after the fact. "20 seconds on the clock." Now I'll put in the shadows. 5 minutes. So it's a little trickier to do this digitally for me. I don't have a very intuitive solution to this problem here. But I got the proportions off. She's a little weird looking, but what are you gonna do? All right. I mean, I only had so much time, so I'm gonna try again. Try to get things a little bit more proportional this time. A little bit. All of this was guesswork when it comes to proportions and just observation, and obviously this is not right. Look how far down I've made this mouth. So I'll have to be a little bit more conscious about that moving forward. And don't get too crazy with the proportions. I'll just move this over a little bit. And try again. Okay. And starting the timer now. Here I go. Okay. Let's be more careful with the proportions. I got this reference off of Pinterest. It's just, I think if you type in portraits, you can do that in Google too. You could type in black and white portraits or dramatic portraits, and if you do that, you will get some decently lit photos. And what you want is a decently lit photo. Why do you want a decently lit photo? You want drama. You want some dramatic lighting to work off of. So these proportions are a little bit better. Okay. Now I do need to add some shadow, so here will be a shadow. This here will be shadow. This here will be a sharp edge. This here will be a sharp edge. So I've decided I'm just going to find all the sharp edges where I'm going to use a hard edge, I should say, not a sharp, but hard. And I'm going to just plug those in there abstractly. It's really bizarre. It feels weird to do that. Anywhere that's going to just be soft. I will leave alone. And then I will go in here with the color pencil and I will add those soft shadows. And hopefully I'll get a better result. I think part of the issue here is working with the limitations of the technology compared to traditional media. Finding workarounds that are comfortable for me. So, because I'm so used to using just plain charcoal, and it's so versatile. Charcoal is so versatile. Especially if you're holding the charcoal pencil in specific ways. I actually had an issue a while back because I didn't have a charcoal pencil. I only had these charcoal blocks, and I had to learn how to use that in an efficient way. Trying to get hard edges with these little charcoal blocks. So this ended up a little better than the last one, I think. Even if I didn't get her proportions really correctly, I got I still captured some of what makes she looks still a little pretty, and I think that's good. That's okay. All right. Yay. Okay, next one. Oh man, I just keep doing these really difficult faces. Women are always much more difficult to draw than men. They have less sharp edges, less things to grab onto, and so what happens is if you put too much information, they look off. They look too old or something. They look like different people if you put too much. Whew. So I didn't realize that every single reference I picked was a pretty lady. Okay. I was just looking at lighting. I'm like, oh, that's okay. Oh, that one's okay. And I didn't realize. I wasn't even thinking. Okay. Well, let's do another 5 minutes. All right. So this one is really tough. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just kind of draw the general head shape, the head mass here. So what I learned in the last one that worked for me was that I started kind of in one place, and like here, like for example here in the brow, I'll start here, and I got my proportions ended up working generally well because I used I was more observant of the relationships between things like the eyes and the rest of the features, instead of kind of placing everything. So I'm going to start placing everything all at once and guessing. So I'm going to start already kind of doing the hard edges. So hard edge shape here. Okay, so this is just nose shape, but then there's a hard edge shape here. Then the mouth. I'm drawing this a little blockier than I would, just because curves, straights are easier to control than curves. And there is a hard edge down here. I'm looking for hard edges around this area. I'm looking for hard edges. I can't find any. All of this tends to be kind of soft, kind of indicating where I'm going to put the shadows. There's a hard edge right here for her neck. This shadow shape here. There's an ear all the way down here. And the hair mass. Okay, I just looked at the clock. I got 1 minute left. I need to know where I need to put hard edges. Okay, so I am going to use my colored pencil, start putting in a little bit of value. So the value tends to make everything come to life. If you just put enough, the masses in, like okay. So that is all the time I have. This would have been much, much easier with traditional charcoal. I would have gotten. I could have done all the hard edges and the values all at once. But like I said, you gotta adapt to what you got here. So with what you're working with. So it's not quite 5 minutes. I'm putting in another like 6. There you go. sometimes even in figure drawing, the pose changes, and I'm still kind of adding a little bit of value here and there in different places, and then I start the next drawing kind of off with less time. Okay, so not so good. Still was trying to solve the problems here. Perhaps I should have kind of solved this kind of thing out of camera um, so that I knew how to approach it. But at the same time, I guess doing it in camera showed the problem solving um, of using a different medium to try to get the same effects. So I didn't start off very well at first. I actually technique is okay, but really the proportions are what makes this look kind of like a weird thing. Like even if I gotten the proportions a little bit better, I probably would have. It probably would have been better. Let's see. Let's see if I'm not talking out of my butt. Let's move the proportions down. Let's move the proportions up and fix some of them. Let's see. Yeah, I think this just needs to be redrawn. Yeah. It's just I just messed it up. All right, and then here I did much better. Kind of started trying to solve the whole hard edge, soft edge problem, firm edge, and then here I took it a little bit further. It was a different problem. I had different lighting. Um, and I think it helped to put in some of the details first to be able to bounce stuff off of. Like with this, I would say that her eye was, these two eyes are too far apart, and I would probably need to move them closer together. But as a drawing in and of itself, without seeing the model I was using, it looks okay. So yeah, so that's my 5-minute head studies. I'm gonna keep doing this sort of thing. I think I really do need to practice more head drawings. So I think I'm gonna do it again for the third time, and maybe I'll do a 10-minute to see if it makes any difference. But if I can't get, if I keep blowing it here at this stage, there's no point in going longer. So I think I'm going to try it again. I'm going to give a third video of this a try, because I think I'm slowly getting the hang of it, and I need to be sure. So stay tuned for the third of this, so you could see the process, to see if I improve, if I start getting more control, and start being able to nail this stuff down. I mean, you can't stop really doing this sort of thing. You really do need to get better and better at placing things in when you're doing heads. Heads are extremely tricky. All right, so thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.